get used to somebody in a certain way, and it's hard for them to see somebody in a different light.
For years, Ricky Schroder enjoyed a successful career as a child actor. But as he got older, Ricky experienced something he wasn't used to. Rejection.
After Silver Spoons was over, I mean, when I got out of that, I was like 16. You know, coming out of series TV and trying to get in parts in movies was very difficult. You know, I'd go on auditions, and I mean, people, you know, other contemporaries of mine would say, "You're washed up, get out of here."
Ricky stuck it out, even while he got the cold shoulder from people in the business.
It's so easy to give up. I could have given up a million times and, you know, and said, screw this, I'm going to college, or, you know, I'm done with this business.
Ricky didn't give up. He eventually changed his name to Rick, and in 1998, Schroder was cast in the drama NYPD Blue, where he even did a racy nude scene. Rick proved once and for all he was finally grown up. Mark Paul Gosselaar wanted to be considered a serious actor after Saved by the Bell, but that's not how Hollywood saw him.
People can't see past what you've done for your last job.
In 2001, Mark Paul finally got a shot to prove his acting chops when he replaced Rick Schroder on NYPD Blue. And like Rick, he too appeared in the buff.
I think earlier in my career, when it was hard for me to step out of the whole, you know, teenage genre, that at that point I wish that everybody would just forget about the show.
Ricky Martin faced a similar problem. Early on, Martin found success as a member of the boy band Menudo, and then as a soap star on General Hospital. But Ricky struggled with his teen idol image.
I want you to see me as an entertainer. I'm not a heartthrob. I'm working on my acting and my music, and I want you to see me as that.
But Ricky's acting career was going nowhere. He decided to focus on his music. In 1999, Ricky resurfaced at the Grammy Awards. His live performance electrified the audience and transformed him into an international superstar.
I'm just here to congratulate him.
Ricky was hailed as an overnight sensation, but he sacrificed for years to get his career back on track. Sometimes it takes a daring move to pop a star's bubblegum image. Two young hunks made a splash by playing gay. In 1997, Mario Lopez took on the role of gay Olympic diver Greg Louganis in the film Breaking the Surface. The role paid off. Mario not only won praise, but was also nominated for an Alma Award. But doing a gay role can be a dicey maneuver. In 2000, Jonathan Taylor Thomas played the part of a closeted high school student in the film Common Ground. That year, Thomas and the film's co-star Steven Weber appeared at the GLAAD Awards.
Tonight is your first real gay event, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Soon rumors began to swirl that the young actor himself was gay. Jonathan wanted to set the record straight. In 2000, he posed for the cover of The Advocate, a gay magazine. Thomas dispelled the gay rumors once and for all.
It's important that people realize that, you know, you're an actor, you're playing a role, you know, and I don't think a whole lot of us choose roles that necessarily attempt to kind of mirror or imitate our lives.
For one young idol, it wasn't an image he was fighting, but his own demons. A losing battle filled with drugs and desperate circumstances. Rodney Harvey was a troubled teen from South Philly who shot to fame as a Calvin Klein model. His good looks caught Hollywood's attention. In 1990, Harvey was cast in the TV series The Outsiders.
Everyone just always says, oh, you got the role of Soda Pop Curtis, and they look at me all like funny-eyed, and because I guess Soda's the one with the girls, and he gets all the girls, I guess.
The role turned the former model into a bona fide star.
I'm an actor, and that just comes with the territory, and I'm just gonna keep focused and do the shows that we do, and hopefully everything will be just fine.
But everything wasn't fine. Rodney began using drugs. According to reports, the actor was introduced to heroin while filming My Own Private Idaho. The one-time hunk quickly lost his looks and his way.
Rodney Harvey was an up-and-coming actor in the early 1990s. Then his career was just completely waylaid by drug use.
After numerous drug arrests and stints in rehab, Harvey was found alone, dead of an overdose in a $20 a night hotel in downtown Los Angeles. He was 30 years old. In the end, it was an all too familiar story. With money, fast cars, and boy-crazy fans, these young stars lived in a world other kids only dreamed about. So who would ever choose to give it up? One former teen idol did. At the peak of his career, he took a different path and turned to a higher power. This is Kirk Cameron, in his own words.
Hey, this is Kirk Cameron. You probably watched me grow up on Growing Pains as the wild and crazy Mike Seaver. Some of you have heard that I found God. That's not true. He found me. I was 14 years old when I auditioned for Growing Pains. My mom dropped me off in the parking lot, and it was too late. The audition times were over, and so I knocked on the door and I asked the director, please, my mom's gonna kill me. So they brought me in, and at the end of my reading, I looked at the director and said, I got a question. Is this Growing Pains supposed to be a comedy or what? He looked back and they kind of said, well, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but that'll work for Mike Seaver. When I would go out in the public at the height of the success of Growing Pains, it was very difficult to show up at a mall when you had your own poster in a store in the mall. It was not a good idea.
Did you used to have people literally chasing you?
Sometimes people would jump in front of a car. People would jump on top of your car when you're trying to leave, screaming like they've lost their minds. It's neat.
So I know it was in the later part of Growing Pains you started to become more interested in religion.
When I was about 17 or 18 years old, I was at the height of Growing Pains. And I had everything that I wanted. You know, I mean, I was making lots of money. And I'm thinking, what else have I got to live for? Is there something else out there? I ended up dating a girl whose family went to church on Sundays. And I went with them one Sunday. I didn't have any religious background at all. And so when I heard this, it was brand new to me. And became very interested in who God is, if he exists, and what he requires of me.
How did God show himself to you?
That's a good question. It wasn't like I saw a vision on my windshield. The Holy Spirit didn't rush in and blow my hair back and give me a new hairdo. I had the same 80s mullet even then.
That was like a joke.
Yeah. It was just this sense that something in my heart had changed. A light switch went on.
What was so bad to you about the way you're living your life?
I was the center of my universe, and I was, in a sense, riding on some arrogance and some conceit. My values began to change, and the decisions I made began to change right at the time when I really could have taken the typical child star path that led me to a drug rehab center, to America's Most Wanted lists. And so I didn't go from shooting a series to a series of shootings because of my faith.
It's been reported that you kind of removed yourself from the gang with Growing Pains, and is that true?
It sounds like a great story. Kirk Cameron becomes a Christian and he holds himself up in his trailer and doesn't speak to the cast anymore. But that's not the real deal. When you're 17 years old, you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. You want to get away from your parents. For me, I had 4 parents. I had my mom and dad, and I had Maggie and Jason Seaver. And so for me, it was just wanting to do my own thing.
So did your religious convictions ever conflict with your work on Growing Pains?
Another good question. I do remember one time where Mike was laying in bed with this girl, and he wakes up and rolls over and says, so, hey, babe, tell me, what's your name again? And I just said, hey, come on, is this really what we want to be doing? I never wanted to cause trouble on the set. However, you have your set of convictions. So if something would come up on the set that was off color, one of the writers would make a joke that was clearly over the line, I would step up and say, hey, let's think about the audience. Hey, Kirk, talk to the hand.
I want to talk about Julie McCullough, who played your girlfriend on the show.
Yeah, I remember Julie.
It's been reported that she was taken off the show because she posed for Playboy.
Julie was let go, according to the producers, simply because they felt that that character had really sort of played itself out and there was no more need for it and we needed a new storyline. I'm really glad that Mike did get a new girlfriend, though, because that was played by Chelsea Noble. Ultimately, we got to be good friends. About a year later, I asked her to marry me. And we've now been married for 15 years, and we have 6 kids. Can you believe it? 6 kids. Yes!
How did you feel when you knew Growing Pains was going to end?
When we took our final bow, there were a lot of tears of sadness, but there was a lot of goosebumps of excitement because I knew that this was the beginning of a whole new chapter of my life. I was quickly on another television series, and that went for a couple of seasons, and right when that ended, our first son was born. You know, I'm 35 years old, I've got 6 kids, and people see me as this older guy, not just as Mike Seaver. And now with this television program that I'm doing, The Way of the Master, that's been my way, along with my partner Ray's, of opening up the door to a faith-based reality show. We go down and talk to people about the big question. God will never let you down. What happens when you die?
I sinned against God. You need His forgiveness.
Is there a heaven? Is there a God?
What have been some of the reactions to people that you guys confront?
Occasionally, you'll get a guy try to choke you. You get someone who tries to spit on you. Death is very confrontational. It grabs a hold of you, and you can't let go. You can't get away from it.
So where did you invite us today? Where are we?
We are at the Way of the Master ministry offices. This is kind of the place where people can walk in off the streets, get a hold of books, workbooks, DVDs, episodes of the television program. These are pictures from the TV production. You know what was really interesting was going to Ozfest.
Do you find an overwhelming number of Christians at Ozfest?
No, I don't like you anymore. No, we don't. So we're headed out to the production facility. That was the secret knock that opens it up. Usually within a couple of seconds, the door will just open. Hopefully somebody's inside. This is basically where we tape the radio program, and this is where we record everything. That was kind of cool. I like that.
Have you lost some fans because of your religious beliefs?
I don't know, guys. Do you still love me?
What was unresolved coming back to do the Growing Pains reunion movie?
After 8 years on Growing Pains, Kirk Cameron decided to point his career down a different path. However, in 2000, the star and his sitcom family returned to the Seaver household to film a reunion movie. Stepping back into character was the easy part. Kirk still needed to patch up some unresolved issues.
During the first Growing Pains reunion movie, some of the members of the cast and I had a chance to work through some of the challenges that we had while we were working on Growing Pains the first time. The tension began to creep in toward the 6th and 7th season, and I think that was a result of some immaturity on my part, trying to express myself in a way that was a bit awkward and clumsy. And if I could know what I know now, I'd probably communicate things with a little bit more grace. It would be a gross misconception to say that religion is my thing. I'm an actor. I happen to be a Christian, and I want to work on stuff that is not personally embarrassing. I'm right now working on trying to develop some ideas for mainstream television. I love my life. I love what I'm working on, and this is what I want to keep doing, and that's where I'm at.
Like Kirk, our other teen hunks are also moving in new directions. Malcolm Jamal Warner is an actor, musician, and television director. Rick Schroder also added director to his resume. In 2004, he wrote, starred, and directed the indie film Black Cloud.
I grew up on a set, and it's time for me to apply all that experience and knowledge into directing.
Ricky Martin released his 10th album in 2005 and is a Goodwill ambassador for UNICEF. Mario Lopez now works on both sides of the camera. He's an actor and producer and hosts the show Dating Factor on CTV.
I want to get into producing also, and also with acting. I kind of want to do it all, you know? I want to be like the male Oprah and just kind of do it all.
After NYPD Blue, Mark Paul Gosselaar went on to star in the 2005 drama series Commander-in-Chief. Jonathan Taylor Thomas landed guest starring roles on shows like Smallville and Veronica Mars. Mackenzie Astin walked away from Hollywood at 14, but he returned 5 years later and began rebuilding his resume. Although Astin's appeared in a string of movies and TV shows, including House and Lost, he still has to pound the pavement.
I sure am knocking on the door now, though. Begging for work. Goes around, comes around.
Escaping the teen idol image and the boy-crazy fans wasn't always easy. But with talent and drive, these guys were able to carve out a brand new place for themselves in Hollywood.
Now that I know what it is that I want to do and what I do best, it makes my decisions a whole lot easier.